There, I am Danny. Welcome to the channel. I am so glad that you are here. Today, I want to start a new playlist. Ever since March of this year, it's 2020. So whenever you're watching this video, March of 2020 was a pretty big time, we all know. Ever since March of 2020, basically, my watching of YouTube videos has skyrocketed. And I know I'm not the only one from all the stats and everything. So I have decided to share YouTube videos that I am obsessed with at the moment on what will be maybe a regular playlist here on the channel. So I'm going to start with Bob Wells and cheap RV living. If you watched my welcome video or any of my initial videos, you already know I'm obsessed with Bob Wells and cheap RV living videos. He is so practical and so down to earth. And when I first became interested in van life, and for anybody who doesn't know, I am getting ready to be an empty nester, and I am thinking about the next phase of life. So I'm really busy working at creating the life that I love, creating the life that I dreamed I can have, but who knows? So I'm really putting the this is where the rubber meets the road. I'm doing the work and I'm moving toward that life that I want. Well, part of what I want is to have a van that I convert into a camper that I can travel around. And eventually, I want to be able to travel to, let's say, somewhere warm where I don't have to endure Kansas winter at all. So that's my ultimate goal, to get started. And then eventually, I don't know if I would live in a van completely full time, but I do think I could do a majority of my time in a van. But I don't know. Haven't even bought my van yet, so I haven't experimented with this. I don't know. I'm just projecting, but it is a dream I've had for a while. When I started with van life videos, I did all the fancy, cool, all the people with the drones, all the cool people who spent 40,000 on their, Sprinter van or on their whatever, getting it all done and all these amazing things. But I quickly kind of tired of that because it wasn't always real and authentic, or at least what I felt. And also maybe because I felt like it was out of reach financially or for whatever reason. So it quickly lost interest because I was more interested in what I could have. And what Bob Wells did for me, and what I believe he does for a lot of people, is to make your dream accessible. He just says again and again, like, anyone can do this. You can do it. We're here to help and support. And he does. He has a 500,000 subs maybe on YouTube, and he does these conferences. He does these caravans where everyone camps together and they all help each other, and they have this great community. If you don't know who he is, please check it out. I'll put his link in the description. So anyway, I was going to say, I've already obsessed about Bob Wells. That was my initial, and I still am, and I still watch all his videos and everything. I support him on Patreon. He also has a charity on Patreon called Homes on Wheels Alliance, which actually buys minivans, converts them for people who, I believe it's for people who are homeless, or just people who may be, but people who need it, and people who are interested in living these lives kind of on the road with more freedom. And so I support the Homes on Wheel Alliance. I support Bob Wells on Patreon, because that's another thing I've started to do. Is I felt like I was getting so much out of YouTube, and what could I give back? What could I do to support? And I don't have a lot of financial resources, but I can do the $5 a month for each one of those. And I even have some people on Patreon that I support with $1 a month, just because I don't even have the $5 for everybody I want to support, but I can show a little bit of support for a lot of different people who I love and who I get value from their content. It's just a little nod. It's just a little piece of thanks. It's a little thing that I feel good about doing. And sometimes it's fun to be on their Patreon and to get behind the scenes, but usually I don't even participate in the extra bonuses that they offer. I just want to show some support. So that's the way I've been doing. And one of the channels I'm obsessed with also is called The Dawn of Van Life. And I'll put a link for her also. This is a woman who started living in her car a couple of years ago, more out of necessity, because she was living in a very expensive area and had roommate issues or whatever. It was very, very expensive. I think she was in San Francisco Bay Area, which we all know. I mean, I think it's the most expensive, literally the most expensive area in the country. So she started living in her car, and then she upgraded to one van, and now she's on her second or third van, I don't know. But she is just so real. She's authentic. She is sharing her struggle along with her success. She's very open. And to me, again, this was just someone who early in my journey, this is only my 9th or 10th or 11th video that I'm ever posting on YouTube. But she was someone who in the very beginning I could look at and say, you know, if she can do it, I bet I could do it. And like I said, for me, authenticity is a huge thing. Huge, huge, huge. I don't care if something's really polished. I just want it real. I want someone who's engaging, who I can relate to. And so I can relate to her. I can relate to her as a person and as a human being. And now she has this cat that she's traveling with. Anyway, I love her. I'm obsessed with her. She lives in her van full time. She's really at kind of a crossroads. She's got about 18,000 subscribers as I film this right now. I'm sure she'll grow and grow. And she's kind of at this crossroads where she's thinking, ad revenue was like a nice little thing to have, but it's been growing for her, and her Patreon is growing. And she's thinking, wow, maybe this could actually support me. Because also at the same time, her livelihood has been basically shut down from the pandemic stuff. So from the situation that we're all in. So now she's in a transitional period where she's looking at, could this actually support me if I did it right? Another thing that is so inspiring for me to see someone with 18,000 people, and that this is a possibility. I think before I would have thought, oh, you have to have 500,000 or something before you could ever even think about supporting yourself. But when your needs are very small, then it becomes much easier to support those needs through non-traditional means, whether it's YouTube, whether it's affiliates, whether it's sponsorships, whether it's having a store to sell your merchandise, having Patreon, doing all of these things, which I plan to try to do all of these things, or I'm exploring these ideas. So she's a wonderful person that I love following, and so I thought I would just share the love. And so maybe every week or so, or however often it is natural, I will share someone whose videos I'm obsessed with on YouTube. So now it's Cheap RV Living and The Dawn of Van Life, and I will put the links in the description. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. If you like the video, like the video. And if you love it, then please subscribe and hit the little bell. And if you think someone else might love it, then please share. Okay, thank you so much. Talk to you next time.